Guess what? If you're someone that worries a lot, like really think about, are you a worrywart? Are you a worrier? I heard something recently that's really hit home with me. Maybe it'll hit home with you. If you're someone that worries, worry is literally worshiping negative experiences happening to you, negative outcomes. The more you worry, the more you are literally attracting in probably the things you don't want to happen in your life. It's the things that you wish didn't happen, but they keep happening because you're worshiping those negative outcomes, those negative results, acting as if somehow you're helpless. You're helpless. Oh no, what do I do? What do I do? What you do is you shift the worry into confidence and true understanding that you have the power to change your life, that you have control, that you're good enough. That doesn't mean that, like, you can wake up and be like worried and concerned, but you got to realize that so much, it's not until this veil comes up, and I hope that I'm reaching people right here, right now. Once this veil is lifted, the one that you are living most of your life in a subconscious state of being. You are literally self-sabotaging yourself subconsciously. If you woke up today worried, anxious, even just like feeling uncomfortable, feeling unhealthy, maybe even feeling fat, feeling alone, feeling depressed, feeling sad, any of these negative emotions, I can guarantee you that there are things you did yesterday. Listen to this. If you really want to break through, you need to be able to listen and pay attention and really allow for these messages to be received. And then not just hear it, respond. I guarantee you something that you did yesterday sets you up to feel the way you woke up feeling today. Thoughts, actions, the things you ate. Because again, you were worried, you were nervous, you were feeling sad, you were feeling unloved, you were feeling underappreciated. So you did something usually at a subconscious level. What's the difference between conscientious and subconscious? Conscientious means you press play on this video. That was an action that you made conscientiously. You made a decision to press play. Subconscious is what you are thinking about and how you are feeling underneath the surface as you watch this video or other videos, or as you're actually even just going about your life. What is playing underneath the surface? Is it fear? Is it doubt? Right? Is it if you're dealing with an addiction, you know that you need to get your eating habits under control. But yet, for whatever reason, you still can't, you get a craving, something comes up, and it's like, what is that something that's coming up? That's the subconscious. That's feeling of lack, feeling of unworthiness. Unworthiness is such a big one. Are you feeling unworthy? I can tell you that for probably a year, I focused in on worthiness like times 10. Because there's a lot of me that didn't feel worthy. And guess where that comes from? Mommy issues, daddy issues. Your upbringing. If you felt like, if you had an absent parent, there's a really good chance that you have written a story to yourself that you're not good enough, that you're unlovable. And thus, anything that starts to stimulate some change, some positive movement and momentum in your life, you self-sabotage subconsciously, because underneath the surface, your belief, your subconscious limiting belief is that you're not good enough. You're not worthy. You're unlovable. And that comes from whatever this environment was that you were raised in. This is the essence of this whole entire life. Most of us are doing life unconscious. You're running programs. See, this is what happens is we run these subconscious programs that are all rooted in limiting beliefs. This is why it is so important. This is why it is so important to give yourself permission to do the self-discovery. The self-discovery is getting past your conscientious state of being and starting to realize what is the concept of yourself. Who do you truly see in the mirror? I know people, this is a gift of mine and this will sound esoteric, but I know people that are in really great shape that I've had connections with, and I'm somebody that has the ability to do this astral projecting, and I'll have these dreams. And in the dream, I see the person as how they see themselves. And so somebody that I know that's really athletic, but they're broken and they're just a mess underneath the surface, emotionally, mentally, spiritually speaking. They see themselves as that. They see themselves as fat and unhealthy, and they're so critical towards themselves. So again, the fitness didn't do it. The success isn't gonna do it. The diet isn't gonna do it. You have to get deeper. You have to do this other piece, which is the self-discovery, the emotional healing, healing your trauma, rewriting your programs, rewriting your beliefs about yourself. This is why you're frustrated. This is why you keep relapsing and self-sabotaging and holding yourself back. Are you ready to break through to the other side? If you are, then guess what? You're gonna need a lot of support, a lot of help. I can say that I've done most of the work by myself, but I haven't done it alone. I've had countless therapists on my journey, right? And then I've had several intimate partners, lovers, that have also been trainers and teachers. My children are trainers and teachers for me to get this, to look in the mirror and get that reflection back so that I can see that I'm growing, so that I can see that I'm not stuck. And yet I know I'm not perfect. It's never about perfect. If you're someone that struggles with perfection, I'm here to tell you that's a trauma response. Do you realize that? Having an attitude of always needing to have everything perfect is a trauma response. And it's based on the fact that somewhere along your early years, 0 to 10 years old, you felt that you weren't good enough. You had somebody always criticizing you. And that in order to receive their love, guess what? You had to conform to this certain attitude and behavior and characteristics. You were constantly scolded and corrected. And so you always needed to fit into someone's mold in order to do what? Receive love. Hurting people hurt themselves first. That's one of the courses on the Results Kill Excuses app. We need to realize this. We don't go and hurt others first. We hurt ourselves. So whoever hurt you hurt themselves first. Whoever hurt them hurt themselves first. Then they shared that pain with others. And guess what? If you haven't healed your pain, you're doing the same thing. You're hurting yourself first. You're self-sabotaging. You're feeling unworthy. You're feeling like you're not good enough. And thus, you're hurting yourself. And then, I promise you, you're hurting other people as well. And this is the whole experience. You can't just logically figure it out. You can't just, in the logical, conscientious mind, say, oh, okay, abracadabra, I want to be different. Now it's different. right? That's a huge breakthrough, is having that willingness, having that eagerness to want to grow, to want. It really is the point of acknowledgement. When you start to acknowledge that, whoa, I don't like this about myself, that's when the magic can start to happen, right? When you start to acknowledge and you become the observer of you. Eckhart Tolle talks about becoming the observer, no longer being the victim in the emotional pain body, but being the observer of your actions and behaviors, which also tells you that you're not your body. You are not your thoughts. You're something greater. Once you can observe that and disconnect, then you can start to realize, okay, I know I don't want to feel this way anymore. I don't want to behave in this way anymore. I don't want to respond in this way anymore. Well, if you have enough clarity on what you don't want, then you can start to work on that stuff and get to the root. You have to get to the root. What causes you to self-sabotage? What causes you to binge eat, to binge drink, to overindulge in certain things? That then, guess what? When you wake up the next day, you have now validated yourself. See, I feel like shit. I look like shit. And then you just validate this negative self-image, these negative self-beliefs. You're not good enough. You're not good enough to be loved. You're not good enough to be successful. You're not good enough to feel happy. You're not good enough to be worthy. You're not good enough. Because you keep on self-sabotaging yourself. And again, it's always about the now. That's the most beautiful thing, is every single day that you are given the gift of life, you are also given an opportunity to reset, to stop the madness, to stop this pattern and these vicious cycles that only beat you down more and more and more and more. You are good enough. Your true and authentic self is absolutely good enough. You don't need anything else, but you have to start to believe it. It takes a measure of faith, and it takes affirming yourself, listening to the positive affirmations, right? And then taking inspired action. Hopefully you don't need to hit another rock bottom or 2 or 3 in order for you to finally come to your senses, to finally ask for help, for finally to start doing some self-discovery work, to really start to figure yourself out at the deeper level. Where did this really come from? And it's not that complex. It really is not that complex. But we are so afraid to look in the fucking mirror and to look within and to admit, and we're so guilt-ridden and ashamed of what in the hell we experienced in our childhood, and that we think that we just buried it, and now we're adulting, and all the fucking crazy shit that's happening in our life has nothing to do with when we were a little kid, when I'm telling you it has everything to do with what you experience between 0 and 10 years old. And then it just continues to compound. But between that age is when when the cast is set of your trauma responses, your limiting beliefs, your survival programs. And you, just because you grow up, you're still running the shit that you learned 0 to 10 years old. Prove me wrong. If this message is starting to make sense to you, it's starting to resonate, you can actually listen for 10, 20, 30 minutes to me express this message, then your time is now. You're ready. And when you are ready, it's sort of like, okay, well then what do you do? If I was you, I would first and foremost seek out some professional medical help. I would get a therapist. I would start to get into therapy. Somebody that either understands childhood trauma, is good with things like EMDR, right? There's a lot of cognitive type therapy that you can go through to go back into the past. And again, finding a therapist is like finding a lover, right? It's good. You can't just one and done, right? And you can't just find somebody and it's like not a good match and then you just give up on all therapists, right? And some of y'all are going to be like, well, I don't even have health care. And that shit sucks. And mental health professionals are really stressed, really overwhelmed. But again, if there's a will, there's a way. You're either going to have excuses or you're going to have results. I'm just letting you know, if I was you, I would get a therapist. Number one, I would ask for medical professional help. I would start down that process. Then number two, right, I would literally start working on myself. I would download the Results Kill Excuses app. This was something that didn't exist clearly when I was going through this shit. But if I was you hearing me, I would be like, you know what, let me set up a call with this guy, right? Let me put all my cards on the table face up, try and figure out where I'm at and what I need to do to get to where I want to go, right? I would download the app. I would jump into the courses, right? There's literally a month's worth of work there. You can't don't fast track this shit. It's a month's worth of work, literally every single day. And even if you were to kind of do it every other day, then that almost goes to 2 months worth of work. It's free. It's free. The first 5 courses is what I call it. It's all this self-discovery work. And this shit ain't just like stuff that I'm telling you straight up. All the coursework there comes from my heart. It's me literally looking at everything that worked for me along this 12-year journey of healing and growth and condensing it into these worksheets, into these courses and these lessons, so that I can help you to accelerate. You don't need 12 years to heal this shit. Especially when you have a pathfinder like me that's literally guiding you, saying, here's the way forward. I'm telling you, this stuff ain't that complex. If you can have the courage and the strength and the willpower to truly accept and get honest with yourself about the shit that you've been through. What shit have you been through? And a lot of us, it's like, if you're anything like me, I forgot most of the shit I've been through. I told you about this. I had a counselor say, man, you've been through so much trauma. Along the way, you programmed your mind to stop retaining memories because you couldn't take it no more. If that rings a bell with you, trust me, like attracts like. I know that I believe in the law of attraction. If you are finding this message, resonating with this message, and can get to almost 18, 19, 20 minutes of hearing what I'm saying, right? We're on the same page. We've been through a lot of the same shit in our own ways, right? But we've been through things that we are embarrassed of, things we are ashamed of, things that create guilt in us, things that we're embarrassed of and apprehensive to share and in total denial of. And it's like our deepest, darkest secrets. And I always say, you know, in the deepest, darkest part of your soul, that's where the truth lies. That's where all those secrets are. And you have forgotten them. You're hiding them. You've buried them. And guess what? They continue to show up in your life. They have manifested themselves in other ways. They come out, self-sabotage, self-destruction. You're eating your feelings. You're eating your emotions. You're carrying around all this emotional baggage as who you are. You can be fit, you can be successful, but underneath the surface, your self-concept, your self-image is you're still not good enough, you're unworthy, You're unlovable. And the time for you to heal that and give yourself permission. You have the absolute power. You are the power. Repeat after me. I am the power. I am the power. What power? The power of the universe. The power to transform and to heal and to process and to release with confidence, clarity. You can let it all go right now. And there's residue. There's residue because, again, you have literally programmed yourself to respond to all of life's experiences. And it takes more experiences of the same type of nature, these patterns, to show up in your life for you to prove to yourself that you're growing, that you're expanding, that you're getting better, that you're seeing the results. And I'm grateful for that. I'm not perfect. I told you, perfection is a trauma response. But I strive for excellence, and I'm very honest with myself about myself. I know when I fuck up. I know when I'm not being my best. I know when I'm being an asshole. I know when my words are aggressive and intimidating to others, not even using like foul language. It's just I get passionate when I speak, and I know that that's not the best version of me. And so I have to continue to work on staying centered on myself, but using words to express how I'm feeling. If I'm feeling upset, if I'm feeling unloved, if I have a need, that to use words to communicate this. And that's the most powerful thing, man, is when we can get outside of our thoughts and our feelings and then really just communicate. And most of us, the reason why you lack the gift of communication through these experiences is because you were punished in ways that it's like, go to your room, like you were given the silent treatment. You were sent to your room to be all alone in punishment, not knowing what's going on. And so you've developed a survival technique that basically said, shut the fuck up. Your voice doesn't matter. Your feelings don't matter. And it's a damnedest thing, man. When we find ourselves 30s, 40s, 50s and beyond, and we're like, why am I still dealing with this? I thought I outgrew this. I thought I did this and that. And it's like, no, man, it doesn't go away. You have to process. You have to go in the time machine, back to 0 to 10, get to the root, the onset, the beginning, the genesis of this experience of feeling unworthy, feeling scared, feeling ashamed, feeling whatever it was that you experienced. You have to go in there, you have to observe it with compassion, process it, and then once you really embrace that, oh, okay, I see that this is the root cause of all my suffering was from this time in my life. You can then release it with grace and some dignity. And you're worthy of that. And I can help you with that. So that's the thing I would be doing, is reaching out to a guy like me, setting up an appointment, free of charge. And you could also, get a hold of this. I'm doing a holiday promotion right now. You'll start to see the advertisement, but you can win one-on-one coaching, either a 6-month, 3-month, or 1-month package, right? Big time value, one-on-one coaching with me. I guarantee transformation, guarantee results if you show up, put in the work, stop with the excuses. Even though you're gonna get punched in the face and challenged every single day, I'm gonna walk it out with you. The way you get entered to win these incredible prizes is you gotta do a purchase. Go to the link below, resultskillexcuses.com, shop. I don't care if you purchase a $3 sticker or a hoodie or a hat or a beanie or a t-shirt. Any purchases between now and Christmas are going to enter you in for a chance to win one-on-one coaching. If you're like, nah, I'm good on that, let me just set up a free 90-minute strategy session and look at coaching options. I'm open to doing that too. You don't have to win coaching. You can pay for it. But it is something that I truly do believe. If I was in your shoes, I would be wanting to invest in myself. I would want to see somebody in a state that has overcome and that I feel that I relate with. And that's the biggest thing. If you feel like you relate with me and my story and what I'm sharing and expressing, and there's a connection there, well, then maybe that's a good fit. But I'm not going to just coach anybody, right? You got to want it. Because the thing that I can't do and that you can't do the work for me. I can't do the work for you, right? We can cheer for each other. We can motivate each other. We can encourage each other, pick each other up when we fall down. But you got to keep going. You got to do the work. And it's the greatest work you could do. Is this self-improvement. This going from self-destructive, self-sabotage to self-discovery, to redefining who you are and developing that person. That's the self-improvement, self-development into self-mastery. It is the greatest expression of life. As you start to become your best version, as you start to really cultivate self-mastery, man, it's magnetic. And it just feels good to feel good about who you are. But if it takes something on the external showing up in your life for you to feel good about who you are, then, right, you're circumventing the process. And I can guarantee you that will not last. That good feeling will not last. If you are somebody that is sitting there waiting for someone to show up in your life to love you so you can feel good about yourself, you're going to continue using people. They're going to show up. They're not going to be good enough. They're not going to meet your expectations. You'll self-sabotage because you still feel unworthy, right? And you're just going to continue to repeat the vicious cycle over and over and over and over again until you're ready to not repeat the vicious cycle and do the work. So you either take this right now and you embrace it, you seek the professional help, you get the therapy, right? But the therapist can't do the work for you. But the therapist is going to really give you an opportunity to have somebody right there with you going back in and unlocking some of this trauma that you experienced as a little one, right? Maybe some of you experienced trauma as an adult. I promise you this, the trauma as a child, and a lot of you are in denial. I was in denial. Oh no, my mommy loved me. It's like, oh no, my mom was really authoritarian, narcissistic type. And, you know, she was burdened as a single mom, teenage mom, back in the day, in the late 70s, 80s. She was burdened by that. It was a lot for her. And then all the abuse that we survived. It was a lot. And so I had to go back and figure all this shit out. And I did it with love. I did it with compassion, not judgment. You got to set that shit aside. And some people, they get so uncomfortable. You're uncomfortable to have to really actually look at yourself and evaluate what really happened. Because a lot of families, man, the deepest, darkest secrets in families is, let's just be honest, man, there's some fucking heinous shit that goes down behind closed doors. Heinous, man. Terrible things that happen. And that's why we never want to speak about these things, because they're so bad. And yet, if you have survived some of those things, my heart goes out to you. My heart genuinely goes out to you. But I can tell you that there is a way for you to release that. And you are worthy to live a healthy, full life. And you are the power. You are good enough. You're an expression of love, even if you felt unlovable. Even if you don't feel loved right now. You are love. I love you. I love you with all my heart. I appreciate you listening to these messages. I appreciate you getting 30 minutes into a talk, connecting, resonating. I know that these messages in and of themselves feed a lot of people. The thirst that you have to feel like, man, I don't feel seen. I don't feel heard. I don't feel like I belong anywhere. And yet here you are. You do belong here. We belong with each other to help each other. This is a soul level connection. I believe it with all my heart. And I just welcome you into this community. Share the message. Comment down below. It makes my day when people, especially men, are opening up and sharing their stories, sharing their heartache, sharing their experiences. Man, it's a powerful thing. It's a powerful thing when men start to open up. Because we're the ones that are usually bottled up. We're the ones that are usually suppressed and angry and frustrated underneath the surface, and we can't figure out why. And we just want someone to love us and see us and care for us, right? And it's just like, we got to learn how to do that to ourselves. You have to learn. That's the game. That's the secret. You want to improve the relationships you have with women, or women, you want to improve the relationships you have with men, you have to improve the relationship you have with yourself. And you have to be willing to forgive, to be compassionate, to be understanding, to be caring, to take care of yourself on all levels: mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical. It's completing those 4 aspects of your life, aligning those things in a way that is true and authentic to you. And as you do that and are taking care of yourself and showing yourself self-love, self-care, gratitude, affirmations, it's like you're gonna reap the benefits of that. You're gonna start to attract people that are also being authentic and caring and loving towards themselves. Why would you want to stay in your state, which is, if you're honest with yourself, if you're miserable, if you're sad, if you're alone, if you're feeling unworthy, and you think that the only thing that's going to shift all that is someone writing in to save your day? You need to write in and save your own day. You are the power. You are the expression of love on this planet. By you healing yourself, you literally can completely transform everyone around you. Your generational curses, your ancestral line. Like, this is powerful stuff. This is what we're being called to do right here, right now. Join me on this mission. Share the message. Subscribe. If you would like an opportunity to win one-on-one coaching, 6 months, 3 months, or 1 month, go check out the shop. Check out the link below. Purchase anything to be entered for a chance to win one-on-one coaching. If you want to set up a free 90-minute strategy session, reach out to me. resultskillexcuses@gmail.com. You know the drill. Results kill excuses. Because if it was easy, it won't be worth it. Greg's out.